Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Entrepreneur. And as always, I have a very prominent guest with me in the business field. And today I have, and he's all the way from South Shields actually, and he was born in South Shields as well, Tyne and Ware. And he's come all the way from there, and he's 42 years old, Shah Lalon Amin. Welcome to the show, Shah Lalon Amin.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
How was your journey here? Walaikum salam.
Alhamdulillah, it was a good journey. I came by train, so it wasn't bad.
Fantastic, fantastic. I'm sure the journey was good, and well, you made it in time. And he is also he's the director of two restaurants actually, Delhi 6 and also Delhi 6 Lounge, and obviously we're talking about that a little bit. And also multi award winning Indian street food. So, sorry, not also. These are the multi-award-winning Indian street food restaurants. Very interesting. And also Indian tapas restaurant. So, how long have you been in this trade?
I've been in this trade for 25 years.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, you don't look more than 25 years. So, 25 years is a long time. Yes. And how did you get into this business?
Well, as a child, my siblings and I used to go to my father's restaurant, my late father. And I can remember I was absolutely mesmerized by my father, the way he would wear his black suits and polished black shoes and brute aftershave. I was very inspired by the way he would manage his very busy restaurant. And we used to go over on a Saturday afternoon. And it was my first taste of a poppadom and a bottle of Coke. And I used to look at my dad and I used to think, wow, when I grow up, I want to be like my dad.
So he was definitely a role model, right?
He was my biggest role model.
Definitely.
Yeah. And he used to tell me, son, I want you to be a doctor. And I used to say, no,
as
Dad.
They do.
Yeah. And my dad wanted all of us to be doctors, scientists. And all of us actually wanted to be like our dad. And I used to say, no, Dad, I want to be like you. And yeah, so
brilliant. So I know it's always nice when you can look up to your father and not anybody else. And I always say to my kids and anybody I know as well, my friends, I say, look, just be a good role model for your kids, so they don't have to look outside. Brilliant. I see you've always also been a business coach. What was that about?
Yeah, so in my local area, there was a company called Tedco. They were funded by the local council. And my remit was to support people from the ethnic minority community to get into business. So my job was to give them one-to-one support and help them with business plans and ultimately help them fulfill their dreams.
Fantastic. Okay, well, you've been giving advice to people and coaching. So definitely you're up there. Now, in terms of the Indian restaurants, it says tapas bar as well.
Yes.
So I've always understood tapas bar to be sort of, Spanish or something like that. How does that work in an Indian restaurant?
Well, Indian food is all about sharing. And when we go, when we have a thali or even when we invite our guests over, and there's lots of dishes, and we're all sharing these dishes. And in a way, that's, tapas, and our new restaurant that we've just opened, it's all about tapas, it's small plates.
Is that the six, the Delhi 6?
Delhi 6 Lounge.
Lounge, yeah.
And customers love it, they love trying little small plates.
Definitely. No, I'm in the Indian restaurant trade as well, one of the trades. And, out of all the trades that I've been in, I think, I enjoy the Indian trade the most. And as I said to you before, we're in Whitechapel. Now, we get to see people like yourselves. So people who serve others, and then they come, and then we have to serve them. You see, so these people have been always, serving the non-Bengalis, and then when we come, so we got to be there very, very critical. So we got to be very, up there in terms of the service, the quality, and the food, because we'll get a response quickly.
Of course, yeah.
And most of our, like I said, most of our customers are chefs as well, good chefs. And also, obviously, good award-winning restaurant owners, just like yourself. But definitely, when it comes to this kind of trade, I think for me, is when you see a lot of customers coming, a lot of different faces, and it's just the enjoyment is just there in terms of meeting and seeing a lot of people every day, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Is that how you feel as well?
I feel when I see happy faces. Leaving the restaurant,
satisfied faces.
I feel very satisfied.
Yeah.
When I see customers, my ethos has always been, it's not about the numbers.
Yeah.
It's about the number of faces that leave happy.
Absolutely.
And long term, that's a winning formula.
That's it. That's it. You see, and the main thing is when that makes you happy, you're definitely successful.
Yes.
In that respect. What about obviously with a busy life, and you've also got a personal life as well, as we all do. How do you work around that?
It's really important, I think, to separate your business and your personal life. It's easier said than done.
Yep.
When I go home at night, I'll be thinking about the restaurant. I'll be watching football.
It just doesn't go away, does it?
And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about the restaurant. And but I do want to be able to be a good father. I do want to be able to be a good husband.
Yeah.
I want to be present for my children's childhood.
It's equally important, isn't it?
Yeah, and because who are we doing the businesses for? We're doing it for our children. And if we weren't there for their childhood, then when they look back on their childhood, they're going to have an empty childhood, a childhood without their father. And so I like to take them on holidays.
Yep.
I like to, take them on nights out to different restaurants, different cities. And, I feel as if, okay, I've worked hard, but ultimately I'm spending valuable time with my family. And when I switch off, and when I spend that valuable time with my family, it's so important. For me, my family, it's absolutely crucial.
Do you find it easy to switch off? Because I've got a lot of guests and a lot of business people. It's like we're on call 24 hours is what they say. And so how do you find that? I mean, is it easy to switch off completely? Or are you still, on alert kind of thing?
Well, my children, whenever we go out, they know that I'm just pretending to be present. And they'll say, Dad, we know you're thinking about the restaurant. Because all of a sudden they're talking to me and I'm like in a different world thinking about the restaurant. But I think they've got used to it as well.
You've got very understanding children.
Yeah, I've got very understanding children. My wife's equally supportive. And they do tell me, look, switch off. But to be honest, I do find it difficult. The only time I do switch off is when England's playing as the European Cup final, I have switched off.
It becomes a problem actually when you're especially I've seen a lot of football fans now, they have to juggle between the work, the family and business. It becomes three because football is very, very important to them.
Yeah.
What kind of tips would you give our sort of upcoming businessmen? Because a lot of youngsters see this show, and the reason they see this show is obviously one, they get inspired by businessmen like yourselves. Like you said, you've learned most of it from your father, and our parents, and even myself. I tell my children, to stay with me, learn the trade. If they don't like it, they can choose something else. But always, try to support and guide them. What would you say to youngsters who are watching in terms of following their parents, if it's a good trade they're in? Or maybe, a lot of our parents, they want us to be academic as well.
Yeah.
So in terms of tips, what would you...
Excellent question. Personally, I would say to anybody who's looking to get into this industry is invest in yourself. I've been in this industry for 25 years and there's never been a day where I thought I've learned it all.
Right.
Actually, when I was 22, I used to think I knew it all. But now I'm 42, 20 years later, and I'm so excited knowing that there's so much more to learn.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's what excites me most. The digital technology and so many things that you can incorporate into your business. This is what really excites me, and knowing that there's so much more to achieve. So I would say to anybody, invest in yourself, learn more, grow more, develop more as an entrepreneur, and believe in yourself.
Definitely.
Because the world can be a world where not everybody wants to be your biggest supporter, and you have to be your own biggest fan.
Yeah.
You have to be your own biggest motivator. And so motivate yourself, believe in yourself, be tunnel visioned, and dedicate yourself to the trade. Right. And these are the words, that I would...
Fantastic. Well, in those words, within that, give me three specific points that you could tell our viewers. You said invest in yourself. Give me specifically 3 points.
Okay, so
in business.
In business, I would say there's so much to learn. There's a lot of online educational platforms for restaurant owners.
Right.
I watch a lot of them. I invest my time in subscribing to some of these programs. Number two,
so gain knowledge.
Gaining knowledge.
Yep.
Number two, surround yourself with like-minded entrepreneurs.
Okay.
You know, there's a lot of restaurant owners that I look up to. And as I mentioned before, you know, Tafajul Bhai from the Bayleaf, you know, I look at him as a mentor. And, you know, I'd never shy away from...
He'll be happy to hear that, yes.
Yeah, I'd never shy away from asking him questions. So your peers, you know, surround yourself with the right-minded, you know, like-minded people, people who can inspire you. You need the extra motivation. And sometimes, you know, it just needs one piece of advice.
Yeah, definitely.
And the jigsaw's, you know, it's all fixed.
Jigsaw puzzle, what
yeah,
do you call
and you just needed that one specific. And ultimately, you know, when I say invest in yourself, take your time to just, you know, take a step back and look at your business and from a, you know, from an outside point of view and see what you need. And I think that kind of investment is really important. And these are the things that, you know, self-care.
So don't be hasty.
Yeah, don't be hasty and take your time and surround yourself with the right people, educate yourself. You know, like I was talking about digital technology.
Yep.
This is something that I'm trying to incorporate in my business, and these are things that I'm learning as I'm going along and trying to incorporate this into my business.
Fantastic. Well, viewers, what you heard from Shah Lalon, 3 things I've asked him, 3 pointers. So 1 is to gain knowledge, 2 is to surround yourselves with like-minded people. And I guess that's also, you know, you're taking a lot of good from them and also gaining knowledge. And the 3rd was?
Digital technology, how to incorporate and keep learning.
It was a step back, I think. Take a step back and don't do things in haste.
Oh, yes.
Don't be hasty.
Yes.
So these are very important pointers, obviously, because when you do things in a rush or when you're too excited, then you don't really get to think thoroughly. So I think that's a very important one at the end, because a lot of people haven't mentioned that one, but don't be hasty, and I'll take that on. Now, obviously in business, we do, you know, face hurdles, we do face problems, and to deal with that or to overcome those problems makes you a very, you know, successful businessman. Have you faced any problems in your 25 years? And if you have, what kind of problems have you faced?
Absolutely. And these problems, I look back now and think these were my biggest lessons. The obstacles that I had, I can remember the first business that I did was when I was 19.
Yep.
I did this takeaway and I did it in haste, number 1. I didn't have a business plan. I didn't understand marketing. I didn't understand positioning.
Yeah.
And I did this takeaway with my brother. I worked very hard. My brother worked hard, but it wasn't busy. We weren't working smart enough. And we had to close the restaurant, the takeaway, sorry. Right. And I can remember actually crying because it was my first business. And I had worked so hard to fulfill, to make my parents proud.
Obviously.
And years later, I actually looked at this as one of my best lessons.
Definitely.
This failure was actually a blessing in disguise, because then we did 3 more takeaways, and the first takeaway was my reference point, what not to do. And that was, don't do things in haste, be better at marketing, be better at positioning yourself in the market, be better at investing in people, getting the right people, getting the right tools, and getting the right products.
You know, these are the most important lessons in life, I would say, when you, you know, in one of the first businesses or whatever, you fail. And I think that's probably one of the best things you could do, because it just teaches you so much. And like you said, when you took the next step, you made sure that you didn't do those. So you can tick the boxes, and you can look at what you did. And mistakes, as long as you learn from them, and I always say, mistakes are always good.
Yeah.
And funny enough, my first business was also at the age of 19.
Right.
And it was a video shop.
Okay.
So those days, I don't know if you remember, they used to rent
of course, yes.
a cassette. It was the, you know, the big VCR cassettes.
VCR cassettes.
For £1. So yeah, exciting. And I was 19, and I actually stopped studying just to go into business. But then, you know, after 2 years, and I can mention my business as well because it's a business show. But after 2 years, I did close it as well. Because somebody opened up a very big blockbuster type business, just few doors away from me, and so obviously that kind of put us in a decline. But I learned a lot, I learned a lot, and I got to know the community as well. And the best thing about public services, I think, and you would agree with me, is that you get to see different people and different mindsets. And it just broadens the horizon so much for you. It just, because sometimes when we deal with a set of people, we're not going out of the box. Do you understand? We're with the same people all the time, and that's what I say to my friends as well. I say, look, get out of the box, get out of the jungle that you're in, and you'll see different other creatures.
Yeah, you'll definitely grow more.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you have any future plans for Delhi?
Yes, we do have future plans. We are aiming to open up more restaurants in different parts of our region. And, but we want to take it step by step, and we don't want to rush things.
Okay.
But at the moment, alhamdulillah, everything's going well. Obviously, with the COVID and the lockdowns, it had a tremendous effect on our business. So we're just recovering from that.
Okay.
And it's actually made us a lot more resilient. Right. Because certainly, we realized how resilient our industry was, how resilient our own businesses was. And so we are looking to grow further.
Right, fantastic. So you're thinking of expanding, but you're taking it easy right now, especially because obviously after the pandemic.
Yes.
For a lot of people as well, they've slowed down and they're recovering. So, but in London, they're doing quite well. London, many places I know, they're doing quite well. Not everywhere, mind you. But people are hungry. They've come out again. So that's a good thing. Now, other than your business life, other than your busy schedule, what kind of hobbies do you have? Do you participate in any sports or anything like that?
Yeah, I do a lot of outdoor activities.
Yeah.
I try to do a lot of charitable work in Bangladesh.
Fantastic.
So it's always good to give back.
Definitely.
And I think the more I've been involved in business, the more I realize how blessed I am.
Yeah.
And I would like to take this opportunity to help more entrepreneurs, possibly people in Bangladesh who are just waiting for that opportunity.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of talent in Bangladesh. So I do spend a lot of time working on projects in Bangladesh, trying to support young people, in trying to empower them. Fantastic. And that gives me a lot of satisfaction, seeing people grow.
Fantastic. And what about your children? Are they connected with Bangladesh? Have you tried to, because a lot of our children, they grow up in this country and they got no connection whatsoever. And we have to force to take them back home.
Yeah, of course, our generations are changing. My children.
How old are your kids, by the way?
My eldest is 19. She's going to Durham. She goes to Durham University. Alhamdulillah. My youngest is 12.
Okay.
They recently went to Bangladesh and they really enjoyed it. So I was so happy because the second time I took them, it was in a monsoon season, and it was absolutely the wrong time to take them, and they didn't enjoy it because they were stuck in the house.
Rainy weather and all muddy and everything.
Yeah, so this time they went in December time, so the weather was a lot more milder.
Drier, that's right.
And so they really enjoyed it. They made a lot of connections in Bangladesh with my mother-in-law who's in Bangladesh, and so they really enjoyed it, and they're looking forward to going back. When they see,
I think they appreciate it as well, especially when they go back home, and if you're doing charity work, and they get to see this the underprivileged people, and I think my kids they appreciate it, and I've seen my nephews and all niece and nephews, and they appreciate it so much, and they get to realize that what we have here, and it's absolutely it's a blessing. So I think it's always good to keep them connected to Bangladesh, and also any kind of charity work as well. And like you said, giving is one of the best feelings. And I think businessmen such as yourself and all the business people that I've had on this show, and I do meet a lot of people outside the show as well. Everybody's involved in some kind of social work, which I think it makes the world go round. It makes
the world a better place. I've been inspired by a lot of entrepreneurs who do a lot of charity work back home in Bangladesh. And, I think it blesses you in ways that, you don't even realize. And every time I've done something in Bangladesh, inshallah, Allah's, will bless us in ways that we don't understand.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're in this kind of position. It's for a reason. It's not just to keep ourselves to ourselves. It's actually out, to get out there and benefit others. Fantastic, Shah, Lalon, Amin. Thank you for coming to the show. And just for the viewers, you've seen what he has mentioned in terms of inspiring himself in business, his role model being his father from a very young age, and also how he deals with personal life, business life, and social life. So I hope you benefited. I definitely have. And until next time, Assalamu alaikum.